We thought the Ricketts family loved thrift more than winning, spending years lollygagging around the luxury tax line, pretending they were a small market team while sitting in the third largest city in North America. But then, in the dead of night, they dropped $175 million on Alex Bregman, a move so shocking it begs the question, did the Cubs finally discover their winning ambitions? Or is this blockbuster signing, structured with massive deferrals, actually the most sophisticated, cynical, and risk-averse play yet, designed purely to look like ambition while guaranteeing safety?
Welcome to 603 Snap News, where we dissect every curveball this offseason throws. And today, we break down how the Alex Bregman signing simultaneously saved the Chicago Cubs and utterly embarrassed the Boston Red Sox. The initial shock of the 5-year, $175 million deal quickly gave way to the classic Scott Boras signature, $70 million deferred, meaning the actual luxury tax hit is closer to a clean $30 million AAV for 5 years, making it a 5 for $150 million deal in real terms, almost identical to the rumored contract that Pete Alonso got from the Orioles.
This isn't the Cubs blowing the budget. This is the Cubs making a financially prudent, high-floor investment, finally pushing those chips to the center of the table, as the analysts always screamed they should. But was this the right chip? When we recorded our pre-off-season video about which teams had the most work to do, the Cubs were number one on both of our lists, precisely because they lacked what we termed oomph, that game-changing superstar presence that could elevate an entire lineup. Kyle Tucker, the younger player with the higher ceiling, felt like the perfect solution, yet they spent nearly $200 million on Bregman and seem entirely uninterested in Tucker. My counter-argument to the pure celebratory reaction is simple. You just replaced Kyle Tucker's potential with a veteran floor, and while your team is undeniably better, your offense isn't necessarily superior to what you could have built, I told our expert analyst, Jake, who was still buzzing from the news. Jake immediately pushed back, pointing to the roster fit. The Cubs are already stacked with guys who are 10 to 20% better than league average. Bregman is the elite version of that. He's the veteran safety net they desperately need. He's right. Bregman provides a massive upgrade over the presumed placeholder, Matt Shaw, whom the Cubs front office clearly wasn't ready to entrust with the third base job this year. Shaw finished last season with an 800 OPS in the second half, a number many cited in the comment sections, but the data showed that production wasn't sticky. For me, Bregman guarantees an elite glove and a 360-plus on-base percentage, an incredible floor. But the defensive obsession the Cubs have is leading to a fascinating and potentially disastrous plot twist. The whispers now indicate the Cubs might trade Nico Hoerner to move Shaw to second base. That move, Jake argued fiercely, would be a fundamental mistake. You're swapping one excellent, trustworthy defender in Hoerner, whom teams would covet as a bona fide shortstop, just to force a potentially mediocre second baseman, Shaw, into the lineup. The irony is thick here, as Hoerner's defensive value is enormous. However, the Cubs' pattern is undeniable. They seem obsessed with the 2015 draft class, where Dansby Swanson, Bregman, Kyle Tucker, and Ian Happ all landed in the top 10. Bregman is safety. He is veteran leadership. He is designed to raise the floor, not necessarily challenge the Dodgers' ceiling, but certainly dominate the NL Central. The true climax of this entire saga, however, isn't in Chicago, it's in Boston. The Red Sox front office has completely alienated its fan base, and most importantly, its players, in a series of breathtakingly poor decisions. Remember when the Red Sox signed Bregman last year? They paid premium penalties associated with the qualifying offer process to secure him for a one-year deal, sacrificing future compensation. All this after effectively pushing out Rafael Devers through salary dumping machinations. As Red Sox insider Anya Kola told us this morning, the feeling in Fenway is betrayal. Roman Anthony, their own executive, was quoted at FanFest saying, "I would love to have him back."
I love Breggy. He was a huge part of my success and a lot of the young guys in the clubhouse. They wanted him, they had him, and then they let him walk, opting instead to remain the last team in the league without a major league free agent signing. Many would argue that Boston simply decided Bregman's value from ages 32 to 37 wasn't worth the cost, pointing to the physical decline of veteran infielders.
But that counter-argument misses the tactical blunder. The Red Sox needed the stability Bregman provided immediately, particularly after trading away Devers. Without Bregman, a team that could have been a World Series contender is now a tenuous wildcard threat, forced to desperately chase other high-cost, high-risk players like Bo Bichette, a player who, incidentally, is not a good fit for Fenway's dimensions, as his 19 home runs last year would have plummeted to 12 if he'd played exclusively in Boston due to his line drive profile.
The Bregman signing is a massive win for Scott Boras, who continues to demonstrate his mastery of the one-year prove-it deal, boosting Bregman's total guaranteed money well beyond the 6-year, $170 million offer he reportedly rejected previously. For the Cubs, this move is a deliberate shift from the previous terrible habit of chasing pull hitters who couldn't handle the deep left field of Wrigley, a mistake they made most notoriously with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Bregman, while a powerful pull hitter, has the bat control and all-fields approach to adjust, and the favorable left-center gap at Wrigley will maximize his doubles power without forcing him to rely solely on the pull like others. Ultimately, the answer to our initial question is that the Cubs haven't necessarily acquired the oomph of a Kyle Tucker, but they have acquired the certainty of Alex Bregman. They chose the high floor and the veteran leadership, securing their status as NL Central favorites while simultaneously exposing the Red Sox's front office as completely rudderless. Now the market moves. What do you think is the biggest long-term ramification of this signing? Does it cement the Cubs as NL Central champions, or is the Red Sox's failure to re-sign Bregman the true disaster of the offseason? Let us know in the comments below.
If you want more deep dive analysis like this, be sure to hit that like button, share this video with fellow baseball fanatics, and subscribe to 603 Snap News for unparalleled coverage of the game. Peace out, guys.